Proper spark plug installation is key to your vehicle's performance. To demonstrate, we'll change the spark plugs on this late model Chevy Cavalier. Before we get started, familiarize yourself with the tools and safety equipment used during this job. To avoid injury and possible engine damage, the engine should be cool to the touch before attempting any spark plug service. The spark plugs on this particular engine are located beneath the housing containing the ignition coil and coil-on plug boots. We must first loosen and remove the screws holding this assembly in place. Once the screws have been removed, we must now carefully disconnect the ignition coil. A simple clip is released, and now we can move the assembly out of our way. Now is a good time to inspect the assembly for any damage. And as you can see, this one looks fine. Before we remove the spark plugs, let's clean our work area. We don't want any debris to fall into the spark plug holes. Compressed air works well for this, and always remember to wear proper shop safety equipment such as safety glasses. Now we can begin to remove the spark plugs. If spark plugs are hard to remove, penetrating oil can be used to help loosen the spark plugs. To help reach the deeply recessed spark plugs on this engine, we used a rubber spark plug starter tool. A piece of rubber fuel hose will also work in place. We remove each spark plug and set them aside for inspection. Used spark plugs can tell a lot about the condition of an engine. These spark plugs show normal wear and no signs of any engine damage. Always compare the spark plugs removed from an engine with the new spark plugs to be installed. The new spark plugs should appear identical to the ones being removed. We can now begin to install our new spark plugs. Using the spark plug starter, start each spark plug by hand to avoid cross-threading. We want to get each spark plug hand tight. Once the spark plugs are hand tightened, we'll then want to torque each spark plug to the manufacturer's recommended torque specification. But if a torque wrench is not available, a standard socket and ratchet can be used. We'll want to torque the spark plugs to a corresponding degree beyond hand tight. This is a very important step as a loose spark plug can vibrate and possibly fail, and an over-tightened spark plug can be broken. That sure doesn't feel like a lot of work, huh? Now that the new spark plugs are in and properly torqued, we can reinstall the coil assembly. Next, we'll want to replace the 4 bolts that secure the assembly, and don't forget to plug in the connection for the coil. Or blow real hard. Once everything is buttoned up and all tools are out of our workspace, we can then start the engine. Please keep in mind that some vehicles require special tools and installer experience to replace spark plugs. If you're uncomfortable performing a spark plug service, please seek a professional repair shop. For more information about NGK spark plugs or any of our other products, please visit us at ngksparkplugs.com.